The mysterious, the macabre, the out of this world. The following are real people. They have real stories, and they've had real encounters. Here tonight on Newsworthy, two words and two question marks.
It's alive! Have you checked the children? Get out!
Tonight, Jerry talks with Debbie and her encounter.
Hello again. We're back from the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival. We're fortunate enough to have Debbie with us. She's been kind enough to agree to stop by and tell us her story. First of all, what brings you to the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival today?
Hocking Hills Festival, the very first one. I had to go because Hocking Hills is where my sighting was. So I'm bonded with Hocking Hills forever. Forever. When they came up with the Hocking Hills Festival, like what, 3 years? This is the fourth one, I think.
Yes.
First one, I was like, I am not missing that. So I've been to all but one so far.
Good.
Yeah.
We've only been to two. Absolutely enjoyed it. We plan on coming back.
Yeah.
You mentioned the location of your encounter. Please tell us about your encounter.
Yeah, it was in Logan. So it started off where me and my family planned. They planned a trip for me because they know that I love Hocking Hills. Always want to get a cabin because if you look that up, it's a beautiful area. Cabins,
All that huge tourist area.
caves, water, just beautiful. And I'm a nature person, and I just love scenery, and I just love being in the country. Period. And so my birthday's Halloween, so my birthday was coming up, and they went ahead and booked one. Well, I searched and helped search, and I just found this one. And it was just up by itself, like on the top of a ridge kind of thing. And it was in the woods all by itself. And so we booked it, and there was 10 of us going. So we arrived on Thursday. It would have been October 29th because it was 2 days before Halloween. So we went Thursday and was leaving Sunday. So 3 nights. So we arrived on Thursday, just looking at the cabin and everything, which was a little creepy because when I walked in, the living room, the kitchen, dining area is all open. It's all one, and it's all windows.
Really?
And no curtains, like no curtains at all.
Everyone can see.
No curtains. It was really, I was like, where, oh my God.
At that point, I'm sure you're glad there's 10 of you.
Yes. So that was a little creepy walking in, but it's fun, That's why we were there, So the way the cabin looks, so when you go in the front door, you go up and go in the front door, where the kitchen and all that is, if you go out the door, you go onto a top deck. So it's high up. Then you go down the stairs and you go into a game room type area with TV and everything. And you go out that door and there's a fireplace, and then there's the hot tub.
Right. Nice.
So right next to the hot tub, there's a little grass, and then it goes down a ravine. So you're pretty close to the edge.
Sure.
Okay. So that side of the cabin woods went down a deep ravine. Then if you go around to the back of the cabin, they had an open area back there, like with some grass, and then but you were all surrounded all the way around with woods. So
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So it happened to be a full moon also. So
it had everything going for it.
Yeah,
Full moon,
yeah.
Halloween,
Yeah.
stuff
it the Friday was a full moon. So so Thursday nothing ordinary. We got up Friday. We got 10 people cooking breakfast, a late breakfast. We had tons of bacon going, eggs, you name it. So I remember I had it opening the windows because of all the bacon smoke. So I can imagine all that smell going out there for one. But so we're all doing the breakfast. People were going in and out. But the first time I went outside, kind of early afternoon, I went to go get in the hot tub finally, and there was this horrific smell. And I'm in the hot tub, and we're all trying to figure out what it is. I didn't know if it was some kind of stinky well water. Now, the night before in the hot tub, no one smelled a thing. No one smelled a thing outside at all.
That kind of rules out like dead animals nearby.
Yeah, because we didn't.
That would have been there the night before.
We did not smell anything Thursday.
Sure.
This was so bad that you would have smelled it Thursday. So it would come and go like in waves. Like say you're out on the top deck talking if you got hit with it. So after a while, because people would be coming out of the cabin, they'd be like, "Oh my God!" Like I was getting a little angry and upset because we paid a lot of money for that, and I'm like, if we have to smell this till Sunday, so we just let it go. Still, we had loud music going. Everybody's having a good time. I decorated the cabin Halloween. I had Halloween decorations outside. Just having a good time. A lot of them were going on little hikes to investigate the area, spooky, whatever. So all that was going on Friday evening. And then Friday night, we all come in, and several of us were down in the game room area watching horror films.
It's Halloween, why not?
Exactly. And then my son's best friend, Matt, and his girlfriend were out on that top deck by themselves while we were watching a movie. And my son and his girlfriend, because in the main bedroom when you walk in was the room I was in the first night, but it was too spooky that I didn't go in it the second night because I was alone. There's a what do you call a jacuzzi tub in there. So because it was only 20 degrees outside, people were using that too as a hot tub, just sure. Because, So that smell was only outside. When we were downstairs watching that movie, my son came back up from him and his girlfriend. Went to go do that or whatever. And they come back down and he's like, Mom, that smell came in that room. And he goes, we sure it ain't something to do with this water, right? And all day long, people were jumping in and out of that thing. I was in it. Never smelled a thing in the house, cabin, room, or nothing. Now that room, the ground level comes down on the one side of the cabin, right up to the window. And then what's creepy about that room is when you walk in, there's a door next to your bed. So I'm like, you open it and you step out into the front of the cabin. There's a little porch thing and you step right out. I didn't like that right next to my bed. So then you go into the bathroom. You had your own bathroom. There was a door in the bathroom. And I said, we open it. There's a big cellar right in front of and it went into another little room. It went right to another locked room. And I was like, okay, now this is creepy. So it was so creepy. So I chose not to go back in there on the second night.
Slept in another room.
I went upstairs with my daughter's best friend, Tanija. So that after we watched those scary movies, movie, we all went up. Well, my other son he come down, told me that they went to bed. And that, he was sleeping before any of us. So then we went to go to bed. I went to say goodnight to Matt and his girlfriend out on the deck to let him know we were all going to bed. So then I got upstairs. Not 5 minutes, I got laid down comfortable. The door banged open. Now he's a tall, big guy. Matt. Okay. The door banged open. And me and Tanija were trying to go to sleep. And he's got this horrible look on his face. And he said, who's messing with us? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, who's messing with this? And he was so hyper. We're like, no. He goes, where's Colin? That's my son, his best friend. I said, he's been in bed for a while. Okay. It hit him that it was nobody in the cabin. So he starts to ramble stuff about things that were happening and the noises and being thrown. And I don't even know what was happening. So me and Tanija jump up. And we're like, let's go. So we went down. We went to the kitchen. When I got to the kitchen, his girlfriend was looking out the window with her hand up like she was searching for something. When I got to the door that leads to the deck in the kitchen, both stair entrances to the patio was blocked by chairs. That's how scared he was. And I said, "Oh my God." I said, what's the matter?" And they tried to explain. It was so hard to explain, like just all this weird stuff was happening. He would jump around the corner and he'd be like, "Funny guys." He thought it was us.
Someone playing it.
So there was all kinds of stuff happening, from loud noises to he thought things were being thrown. He said something either shook or did something to a tree and all the birds flew out of it at once. All kinds of things were happening. They couldn't explain it. They didn't know what was going on. And I guess there was a very loud one. That's what threw him in. He threw the chairs and booked it into the cabin.
Can't say I blame you for that.
Right. So that's what dropped me down to the kitchen. So us four are in the kitchen area. We're looking out windows, trying to listen. Don't know for what. I said, "Let's turn the lights off." Now, I told you in the back of the cabin, that grass area, full moon lit it up. It was like someone had a spotlight on it.
Sure.
I said, "Let's turn the lights off in the cabin," because we had glares on the window, and I just wanted to see, just black it out.
Right.
As soon as they got that stove light off above the stove and it went black, I hear Matt's girlfriend say, "There it is." So when I looked up out the window, and it had some like trees in the way, so you could see though, whatever just came out of that ravine was low to the ground. So I needed a better look. So I ran to the kitchen window, and there's a window below above the sink. I had a straight shot of this thing, like straight in front of me. And then Matt and Tanija followed me, and they were right behind me. She stayed over there. As I'm looking at this, trying to figure out what it is, it stands up. I mean, it was like in slow motion, watching this thing keep going and going and going and going. And I ain't exaggerating how tall this thing was. So it goes from low to the ground all the way up, and then it's just standing there. The shoulders was like two big guys on each side. Okay? It was a monster. I'm staring at this thing. Then what got me the most is I'm staring at this thing. I hear Matt, the big guy, he's bouncing around behind me. "Do you see that thing?" Then I hear Tanija, who's a skeptic, say, "Do you see the shoulders on that thing?" So I knew they were seeing what I was seeing.
Yep. Obvious at that one.
So I'm standing there in shock. Then, just like you, just as calm as can be, like they do it every day, he just calmly started walking right towards me. He was coming right for me. So as he started taking those steps and swinging those arms, and I saw that in the moonlight, I saw his fingers go below his knee and started making those steps, walking straight for me. I freaked out, started screaming, "He's coming for the cabin." And I turned. He heard me. Matt and Tanija saw him because I then left the window. I was screaming, "He's coming for the cabin. He's coming for the cabin." And I hear them say he went back down on whatever, all fours or to the ground, and went down the ravine. I didn't care. I went running through the cabin. I got everybody up. I had three of my children there that night. So I get up. Everybody gets up. And I'm just a mess.
Sure.
And we're all hopping around like, what? So we all went out on the top deck. It lit up out there, and all 10 of us heard everything. It was coming from everywhere. The ravine lit up. The 3 distinct things that I remember was one sounded like a woman screaming from the ravine. The second was this long, big house out. And me and my daughter looked at each other and said, "That's from that Finding Bigfoot show." And we recognized it immediately. Like, immediately. That us now learning now that's the Ohio. And then the other thing that was distinct, and my kids to this day still make fun of it, it sounded like caveman talking. And they walk around like, ooh, ooh, like to each other all the time now because they make fun of it.
Did it not scare them very bad?
They didn't see it, but they knew that what I saw, what Matt saw, what Taji saw, they knew, and they can hear everything that's going on. But later on, they started to joke about the caveman chatter. You know what I'm saying? Or it sounded like men, but they did not make sense. I remember that. I remember just all kinds of noise. I didn't pay attention at the time, so it was just probably just the trees and all everything. It was just noisy. Okay. Then we started to hear stuff into the front of the cabin. So we then all moved together in a pile down the thing into the front. We're in the driveway.
See what's going on.
We're aiming towards the front of the left of the cabin. There's a little island they made, and then not a couple steps back would be the wood line. So it wasn't a big. They could probably just step in one step to the. We saw a shadow go from that to the wood line, but it sounded like trees were falling and trees were breaking, and it was insane. And we would see the shadow over there. Then you got back here behind us, still going crazy. So then we realized we have several around us. We don't know what's going on. We're around us.
Surrounded almost.
We're in a little all bunch cuddled together in the driveway. So after that went on, we all went back into the cabin because it started getting quiet. Some went to lay down, some did not. I never went back to bed. I didn't know what to do with that. We went through every scenario possible while we waited for the light to come out, because my son's like, I'm going straight out there. He wanted to see if there's footprints. He wanted to see what the heck's going on. My
questions at that point, no answer.
Yes, my one son's 6'2", so we were curious. So we went through every scenario, and the ravine, we ruled out a human immediately, because the way me and my daughter tried to go down that ravine as far as we could, and you can only go, and then you can't. Like, it's down. For someone to crawl out of there, if a human crawled out and was onto the flat grass, how do you have time to sit there and put some stilts on to stand that tall? You go carry him up the thing and then sit there and I didn't see you put stilts on. I just thought you stand straight up. So no, that wasn't a human. There was no way possible, nothing for a human at all. So we ruled that out. So they wake up. So the light, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. We didn't have long to wait. As soon as the light, they run out there. Now, when you get down there and it was closer than what I thought. When you come out of the ravine, you have to crawl out because you can't walk through that mess. So there was like a little big circle hole there that he had come out. And all that grass that was batted down, the whole entire, all the way to the backwoods. So it was hard to tell. You didn't have a distinct footprint, but it was all batted down. Like, it's been used tremendously. So that was funny because my son and my daughter he stood there. My son stood there. I said, I'm going to look through the kitchen window. That thing made him look like a peanut. That's how I know that thing was 8 to 10 at least.
8 to 10 feet.
Yes, because he made him look so small.
I know it would be a total absolute guess. If you were to guess, look at the beard on that lady.
Hell.
If you were to guess at the weight of this thing, what would you guess?
I'm not good with weight, but if you take a 10-footer with that's got massive shoulders, he's got to be, I don't know what you guys would consider the weight on that kind of thing. Yeah, but he was huge. That's all I can tell you. He was huge. So they were out there messing around, my son and my daughter. They were making those sounds back and forth to each other, thinking they were funny. And sure enough, coming out of that ravine was one right back at them. And they come running back in the cabin, and I said, well, it just happened not long ago. You know, go down there and make fun of it some more, you know?
Yeah, that worked out.
I said, no. So my other son woke up. He went to the front of the cabin to smoke. He wanted to go over by that little island where that activity was. He looked down and he just looked disturbed, the leaves. So he batted them away. And there, sure enough, was a humongous footprint. So he came and got us. We took pictures of Matt, who has the biggest foot, next to it. And I said, when I saw that huge footprint, I said, that matches the monster I saw.
Still have copies of those.
I have them somewhere, but I was on These Woods Are Haunted show,
Sure.
and they got it.
They did good.
Yeah. It's at the end. I think on one of them, because we didn't know, because we don't know what we're doing, might be a shoe print like in the middle of it a little, because someone might have stepped on it. But that has nothing to do with the whole shebang. So when I saw that footprint, I was just like,
It validated, I'm sure.
Yes.
A lot of what you thought you'd saw the night before.
so I didn't know. I had to go till Sunday now. I didn't know what to do with that. So sure enough, the rest of Saturday, it was so peaceful. Everybody kept saying on Friday they felt weird and they were being watched. That was another thing brought up. It was a weird day. Saturday was so peaceful. Nobody felt weird. No smell. We never smelled it again.
After you saw them.
We never smelled it again. That smell was gone. We were there all the way till Sunday. No smell. And we didn't smell it Thursday. We didn't smell it Saturday and Sunday.
That's right.
And so I went home. I didn't know what to do with that.
Sure. Who would?
My mind was, I didn't know what to do with it. You're not supposed to see a monster come out of the woods in reality. To be real.
And then at one point come at you and you think
Like he was walking so calm, like he does this all the time. So I reached out to, I think it was Cliff and Matt Moneymaker. I didn't know anything about that stuff. But I said, what do I do with it? So only people I knew from a show that had been recently out. Matt, sure enough, contacted me, which surprised me because I was like, oh my God. So he called me. We went over everything. We were Googling, seeing where I was. And after I was done, he said, I was just there a week and a half ago, and a mile from that cabin from the sighting. He told me exactly what I saw. And I said to him, well, I turned the lights off, he's like, yeah, as soon as you turn those lights off, he knew to come out. He was curious. I said, what? He's going to come look in the windows? He said, yeah, they're curious. I said, well, that's even scarier.
yes.
And, yeah, so he said that, they're curious and I said, you know how many people probably get watched at Hocking Hills and places like that in those cabins and don't know it? We wouldn't have known it.
Sure. How would you?
The only way we would have known is one of us saw eyeballs in the window because we wouldn't have known. And he was coming straight for that cabin to right for the windows, man.
Can't imagine the feelings
and
that you must have went through it.
And people think I'm crazy because then I wanted to go back out. I'm like, listen, I had to get over the fear though, because I've been working on it. I know how big they are. So I'm just intrigued. I want to know everything about them. I'm not out there to prove. I'm not out there to prove it. I know they are. I saw it. I already know what I saw. I'm just curious about them,
Sure.
So, I'm not out there to go, oh yeah, I'm out here to prove them, catch one. No. So that just started my road down that path, and I haven't stopped. And we've had things happen at Salt Fork, me and my daughter, and she's right there next to me with it. Things have happened with her. So yeah, just that's what got me in this whole thing.
You mentioned that you went back out. Have you ever been back to that cabin?
Yep.
Really?
Once. Well, you know what we did? We didn't really stay, but we went up that driveway and sat, at 2 a.m. It was the Hocking Hills Festival.
Okay.
I wanted to go in the woods somewhere. We didn't know where to go. I said, let's go back and sit in that driveway thing because it's like a road. It's so scary. You can sit there. It's pitch black. We had a couple things happen that was weird, but it took me a while. If I'm out with somebody or I'm out in the woods and I hear it and I think it's kind of close, I will freak out and I'm gone. Right? My daughter, they finally got me to calm down. My daughter's like, stop running. Right?
Sure.
So I've been working on it, and so even if I think they're right there, I'm fighting it, but I think it's because I know how big they are. I don't think people realize how big they are. And that coming out Okay, so for example, I was sitting at Salt Fork, and everybody went. I broke my ankle, so I couldn't really hike. So everybody took off, and me and this one girl, she didn't feel good, so we were sitting there. And I said, "Nah, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna start hearing stuff because we're left alone at the whole camp thing."
You had faith in.
I know in one by yourself or twos is when you're gonna have something. You start having three or more.
Well, the one time there was a bunch of you in the cabin, so not always, right? Sometimes when there's several, it might happen.
Well, they thought we were all sleeping.
True. Very true.
And they do the same thing at Salt Fork. They've walked out when they hear me snore. Like when they know you, when they're snoring,
Right.
that's when they'll take a step. So they're smart. So, yeah, I'm working on the thing, but I was sitting at Salt Fork with her, and I'm looking at somebody's camper, right, in the moonlight, and the woods was right there. And in my head, when I hear the cracking going on or a tree break, I look over there, and all I see in my head is if that thing stepped out, he would tower over that camper, and that's freaky.
Very.
So that's what I'm seeing, and the girl next to me might not see that because she doesn't know how big it is, but that's why I freak out.
I can certainly understand.
I feel calm because I'm telling you, the thing could have took us all out.
So you don't feel like it meant harm to you?
No, not at all. And we were surrounded.
That helps make it a little easier to go back out and.
Yes, and the things that I've experienced since is the same kind of feeling.
I'll be darned.
I think they're very curious about stuff, and yes, and don't get me wrong, there's all bad apples out there and everything. Bad apple, and maybe certain areas have more, but I don't think in Ohio so far in the areas I've been around, I don't think they are.
I'm sure in the years since this has happened, you've probably told the story several times. You may have come across skeptics. What do you say to those skeptics? Are you telling the story?
Oh, I have family members. I have to see it to believe it. I said, well, I know. I will tell, and I'm one of your loved ones. You should believe me because you know that I'm not a liar. You know that I'm not this. You know I'm not crazy or nothing. You know me. I really don't care. Like, they have to experience it themselves, and the only way they're gonna is if they get a shocking visit like I did, or if they're out in the woods doing something. But all I know is nobody, skeptic or not, can sit here and I know he's real. I've seen him. You'll never convince me otherwise. I know what I saw. I had 2 other people that saw him with me. All 10 of us experienced the rest that you can't explain. The noises and everything that we heard is unexplainable, and it all goes together in a puzzle piece. Once I saw him, it all fits together. But the skeptics, I got a bunch of people that say, well, I got to see it to believe it. Well,
guess what I did? I did see it.
Yep.
My response.
Yep.
And you know what? That makes sense, right? Anytime we actually experience something firsthand, it's going to change your perspective forever. Hugely.
Yes.
You went through it, so.
Changed me completely, and now I just have I have a huge Bigfoot family, I call it now, and love them to death, and just a whole new world and different and people. Oh, I love it.
Very nice. Debbie, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us. I appreciate it. Thank you again, and you have an awesome day.
You too.
And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.